Alright. Sorry for being a couple minutes late. They are they over there working on. I check my mic and check my sound. It was tripping earlier. I make sure everything is right. I make sure everything is right. Hold up. It was tripping earlier. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Make sure everything is good. I sound low. Alright. That's that's good. I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. Alright, so I'm just gonna have to speak up just a little bit. That's as good as it's gonna get on my end. Alright. Oh well. Alright. We're gonna we're gonna just speak up a little bit. But my bad for being late. It was going down over there on the village. Shouts out to Bolo, everybody that's in attendance over there, the people on the panel. Shouts out to y'all. Yeah, I mean it was going down, and I was locked in because they was having a good conversation. But we are here. Hope everybody had a good holiday, a good Thanksgiving and stuff. Shouts out to y'all. But we got a good talking point here. Um, I'm gonna be talking about trials and tribulations. What made me want to speak about trials and tribulations is because just like anything in the world, people try to use that as a cliche saying, and a lot of people are confused that trials and tribulations go together. Okay, which I can see why they think about that, but it's but it's not like Batman and Robin. Trials being Batman, tribulations being Robin. They not duos in they not they not a tag team duo. You can either have one or you can either have the other. You can have both. So what we're gonna break down. You're gonna understand what I'm saying as I get into my talking points and stuff. But we gotta remember we well we gotta pay attention that you're gonna have trials. You're gonna have tribulations. Okay, is set. It's set. It is what it is. But the thing is, understanding the two and understanding what the two actually mean in your life is gonna help you out. Is gonna help you out so much because I say this because I've been uh speaking about trials and tribulations to people, and I've been telling them the difference between the two and what the two are and stuff like that. So I felt as though, like, you know what, for some reason I keep coming back to this I keep coming back to this talking point, so maybe I should do a live about it. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're gonna do tonight. Now, as you can see, I already have a scripture pulled up here. Y'all can read it if y'all want to right now, but what I'm gonna do is drop this down, and then we're gonna actually start to cover this. We're gonna actually start to cover this. My fault, people. All right, so let's drop this window down for a second. Boom. Okay. So as you can see, I got definitions up here. Nope, not that one. There we go. Okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna understand what trial trial excuse me, what a trial is, and then we're gonna understand what tribulation is. Okay. So in the Bible, a trial is a test of faith that produces spiritual growth and maturity. Trials are hardships, adversities, or sufferings that refine a believer's character, strengthens the resilience on God, and demonstrate the power of Christ in their life. While sometimes orchestrated by opposing forces, God allows these tests for a purpose, to help believers develop patience and endurance and draw them closer to Him. Okay, so when we read this, the point, the whole point of trials is to, one, test your faith with God. Two, it's supposed to strengthen your bond with God. Three, it's supposed to show you, teach you patience, and it's supposed to test your patience, and strengthen your belief system with God. Okay? So when we talk about trials, in the world, we'll hear a person say, "Oh, I'm just going through trials and tribulations." Okay, people use it hand to hand, but how do you know you're necessarily going through trials and tribulations? And on top of that, why do you feel as though that you're only going through trials and tribulations? The crazy part about this, and I like talking about this, is because when we read trials, I was telling the people that I talked to about this, is that God's gonna always give you trials. You're gonna face trials through your whole time, with working with the Lord, and all that. He's gonna give you trials. But the point of the trials is to pass. You're supposed to pass your trials. You're not supposed to fail your trials. And failing your trials is the opposite of what is on this screen right here. So when you read this, hold on. So when you face a trial, the point of the trial is a test. The test is of faith. The test is of spiritual growth. The test is of maturity. And with trials, you're going to face hardship. So people automatically think that because they facing some type of hardship, or they facing some type of adversity or some type of suffering through their trial, that they automatically are going through tribulations. And that's not the case. Some trials may be easy, some trials may be hard. Just like taking a test. If you don't study for this test, then of course the test is going to seem hard. But if you're studying for this test, that test may be easy. But then you have tests that, although you may studied for it, it's just hard. Period. Bro, this test is hard. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna pass this. But you have faith enough that you studied enough that you will pass it. So when we speak about trials, trials is a test. One, to test your faith, and that is going to produce spiritual growth and maturity within yourself. Two, on top of that, trials are like they said, hardships, adversity, or suffering, okay, that refine a believer's character, strengthens their resilience on God, and demonstrates the power of Christ in their life. So when we're saying that, right, the whole point of the trial is to put you through this test. It may be hardship, maybe adversity. You might have a little bit of suffering. It's not gonna be pleasant for you. But the whole point is to put your faith that God has put me in these trials so that He can strengthen me, so that He can give me spiritual growth, so that He can mature me. Okay, I gotta pass this trial, and the only way I pass this trial is if I put my full belief that God is putting me here and He's gonna see me through. That I'm not gonna take these trials and try to run it in my own hands and try to come up with my own narrative to try to fix whatever is happening. So when I'm in this trial, when I come out of this trial, I should be more. I should be my relationship with the Lord should be strengthened, and on top of that, I can have a testimony to explain the power of Christ in my life. I have a demonstration. Look, I went through this. He put me on a trial to go through this. Was it pleasing? No, it wasn't. But I never gave up on the Lord. And I understand that the Lord put me there for a reason. So now that He's seen me out of it, I have a story to tell. Look, yeah, I went through this. This how I overcame. I gave all that to the Lord. I let the Lord use me as He sees fit. How Brother Ant always says. I didn't take it on myself to try to fix it. I just let the Lord work, and I came out better. So when you speak about trials, this is what it is. You have to pass that test. And the only way you pass that test is putting that in the Lord's hands, letting the Lord use you as He sees fit, letting the Lord, talking to the Lord. Hey, I know you putting me in this. I know this is a test. I'm asking that you see me through. I know it's hard, but I need you to navigate me, guide me to where I need to be at. That that you will see me through, because one, you told me that you will never leave nor forsake me. So we're putting all our faith and all our belief in the Lord, and that's what it's saying when we break down the definition of trials. Trials are hardships, adversities, or suffering that refine believers' characteristics. Uh, strengthens their resilience on God, and demonstrate the power of Christ in their life, while sometimes orchestrating opposing forces. And opposing forces, we understand what that means. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Sometimes it might not be. Even God. Listen to in the book of Job, the devil came to the Lord and told him, yeah, bro, he on. And I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, bro, he's only um faithful to you, and he's only does all this stuff to please you because you always reward him with stuff. Because the Lord was like, check my man Job out. I mean, check Job out. Yeah, that's one of my faithful ones right there. He ain't never cursed me or none of that stuff. He ain't never disobeyed. He did everything he's supposed to. And the devil came to him and was like, yeah, I bet you take everything from him. I bet you he curse you. I bet you he um I bet you I'm trying to think of the word. Trying to think of the word. My fault. But basically, he's like he. I bet you he cursed you. I bet you he talked bad about you. You know, like I bet you he said you ain't ish, and 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 he like, yeah, he only doing that because you keep rewarding him. So God like, all right, well, let's test this. Let's test this theory. So God took everything from him, and when it says use opposing forces, there you go, right there. He listened to what the devil said. He listened to what the devil had to say, and he tested Job, which Job, yeah, I mean, which Job, he suffered, he faced adversities, he faced hardships, but at the end of the day, he had patience, he had endurance, and all that did was draw Job closer to God. And that's what it says in here. Help believers develop patience and endurance and draw them closer to him, which is God. So that's what going through trials do for us. Going through trials do that does does that for us every time we believe that he's right there with us. Every time we put all our faith in what the Lord is going to do for us, what the Lord is going to do to protect us, take us out of there. He understanding that the Lord will never leave or forsake us. Yeah, when we do that and we pray and have that relationship with him, when we do that, we're drawing ourselves closer to him. So that when we get out this trial, we can have we can demonstrate the power, which is speak on how the Lord use his power to get us out of these hard times. So just because you have trials, it's not automatic you got tribulations. That's not what it means. So tribulations now, right? When we say tribulations is tribulations has two meanings. A general form for suffering and hardship all believers may face, and face and a specific prophesied 7 period of intense global judgment and distress before Christ's second coming. Okay, so when when people talk about tribulation, they 9 out of 10 times they're not talking about the second part, okay, which is a specific prophesied 7 year period of intense global judgment and distress before Christ. They not speaking on that part. They're speaking on the part of they're speaking on the part of a general term for suffering and hardship all believers may face. So with that being said, that's why I was saying like, okay, it's not trials and tribulation is not like Batman and Robin, but you can face trials or you can face tribulations, or you can face trials and tribulations. Okay? So, the tribulations part I refer to as you go through your trial, right? And just because just because your trial may have hardships, adversities, or suffering, you know what I'm saying? You automatically think that it's tribulations because it has suffering or and hardship. But when you have trials and you don't pass your trials, you don't put that in the Lord's hands. You don't let the Lord do what He has to do. You don't you don't build that relationship with the Lord by praying and asking Him to help you through this and see you through this. Then your tribulations come. Tribulations is more like the the consequence of not passing a trial, if that makes sense. Everything has a pro and a con to it. Everything has a what they call consequence. You always have some type of consequence in life, whether it's touch if I touch the hot stove, I'm gonna burn myself. So that's the consequence of touching the hot stove. You burn yourself. So with with tribulations, that's the consequence of not passing your trial. Okay? And what I refer to it is you go through a trial, you don't pass a test. And matter of fact, I'm ready to use this analogy because I like using this analogy. Okay, so you're building this wall, right? You're hanging sheetrock up. You got nails, screws, all this stuff mixed into one. What's going on, Scene Bean? How you feeling? How you feeling? I hope you had a wonderful holidays. I hope everything was good for you. You ate good. I hope you got some rest. Um, but you're hanging this wall, right? You're putting up the sheetrock. Boom. So your trial is to hang up this sheetrock, make it nice and neat. Somehow in this time that you're going through the trial, it's difficult. You can't hold the board up by yourself. You can't get the screws to sit how you want them to sit. But then but then instead of you asking the Lord, or is talking to the Lord, give me strength to hold this sheetrock. Give me the patience to make sure that I'm seeking the screws in properly. What you do is you just start taking it on your own. So now you're holding the board, you're trying to get screws and stuff, and then you end up making a mess with the screws and the nails, and then you got 2-inch screws with 1/4 inch screws, and you got nails all mixed in it, and then the board done cracked a little bit, so you're trying to hold the board in two different spots while you sink the screws in. The board got all these different holes in there because you keep missing the stud, and you're doing this on your own without asking the Lord to help you out, to give you the strength, to let you have the patience, you know. And then when you get tired, your arms get tired, and you can't bear it no more. You put the board down, and then you start calling for the Lord. Lord, can you come and help me with this? Can you come help me hang this drywall? So now so now the Lord comes down, and He sees you done crack the drywall. You done mix the screws and stuff up. You done got all this stuff messed up. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this? So You only called the Lord because you couldn't bear it no more. So now here come your tribulations, because one, had you called on the Lord and had that faith in the Lord that the Lord would help you from the beginning, you would have never had to go through all this. But being as though you wanted to do it on your own, now you got to face those tribulations. The tribulations is now you got to separate the screws from biggest to smallest, separate the screws from the nails. You got to move this board out the way, get a whole new fresh piece of board, and then you gotta start the whole process all over again. So that's how I see tribulations. Tribulations being your consequence for not passing the trial. With with tribulations, with tribulations is is bound to be a hard time. Period. See, but with trials, let's go back to trials. With trials is just a test. Trials is just a test to see where your faith lies at with God. But if you facing trials, then it's already set. And this is where let's bring we're gonna come back to this for one we're gonna come back to this for 1 second. Let me write this down real quick. John 16:33. We're gonna come back to this in 1 second. But this is where song no, not song. Oops, my fault. Not song. This is where Proverbs. I always do that. I always do that. Where you at? Where you at? I'm looking over it. I always do this. I always do this, bruh. I can never find this joint. There you go. I I swear I need to put my glasses on. Stop playing around. This is where Proverbs come in. This is where Proverbs come in. Three uh 3 5 3 5 chapter 3 verse 5 to 8. This is where Proverbs come in. Trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not onto your own understanding. Okay? So trusting trusting God and leaning not onto your own understanding, that is part of the trials. And then verse 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. This is all part of your trials. Okay? Don't be wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. This is all part of trials. Okay? And with doing all those with doing those three characteristics that I just gave you, the reward is it shall be healthy to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Okay? You're gonna get rewarded. So when you go through these trials and you do these three characteristics that I say, you will be rewarded. You won't face tribulations. Now do you understand what I'm saying? The whole point of passing the trial is that you be rewarded. Why would the Lord put you through a trial and reward you with tribulations? That doesn't make sense. So it doesn't make sense to say, "Oh yeah, I'm just going through trials and tribulations." You're going through trials and tribulations because one, you're not trusting in the Lord with all thy heart. You're leaning on your own understanding. You're not acknowledging the Lord. You're not letting the Lord direct your path. You're trying to make your own path. You're trying to tell God, "Hey, God, I got this. I don't need you." You're not acknowledging Him. You're being wise in thine own eyes. So this is why you're now facing tribulations, because you never passed the test. And the only way you pass the test is with these three characteristics right here. Trust trust in the heart with trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not on your own understanding. And always acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Be do do not be wise in your own eyes, for the Lord for the Lord uh for I'm sorry, fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be healthy to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. So this is why you're facing these tribulations. This is why you're facing these tribulations. It's not because that's what comes with it. No, it doesn't come with it. Tribulations is the consequence. That's why, it could seem as if you're doing the two, which you're not. You're not doing the two. Because the Lord's not going to reward you with tribulations if you pass the test. Tribulations is the consequence. That's the hardship, that's the suffering and the hardship. Just because it says that in trials doesn't mean that you're going through tribulations. Two different things. That that's why it's spelled two different ways. It has two different words. Tribulations is not the substitute word for trials, because if that was the case, we wouldn't refer it to trials. We'll just say, "Oh yeah, we're going through tribulations." It would be one thing. Not real talk. That is a good point. That is a good point. Same Bang. That's why I don't claim to rebuke. That's God's word, because I am imperfect and need it done right. Exactly. That's a good point. That's a good point. But now let's go ahead and bring up these scriptures real quick. So now that we understand the difference between trials and tribulations, because even the people in the Bible face trials. Even the people in the book face trials. Um, we're going to John 16:33. John 16:33. Okay. Now this is Jesus talking to his disciples. And when he was talking to his disciples, he said, "These things I have spoken unto you, that and ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulations, but but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." So let me get my book. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Y'all know I don't like reading. No, I don't like reading off this app. I don't even know why I'm reading off this app. Let me get my book. uh, y'all know I don't like reading off this app. I mean, I just bring the app up. Hold on. Kids they be turned up, bruh. They be turned up. All right, all right. Let's go to the Book of John. Let's go to Book of John real quick. John 16. And if I didn't read the Book of John, then we wouldn't even probably have been talking about this. But being as though I had read the Book of John, something had stood out. This one had stood out to me, and I was like, "Oh man, we gonna have to talk about this." Now, these things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulations, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So, what Jesus is referring to in this particular passage is that is that his disciples, with him speaking to his disciples and teaching his disciples the the things that he was teaching, he's telling them that when you're with me and you believe in me and you trust in me and you have that good faith in me, that what's going on, my mama in the building, that you will have peace. So with me, I'm gonna bring you peace. Okay. And he didn't refer to them as you should have trials in the world. What he said to them was tribulations. He spoke on tribulations because what later in the text he's going to tell them that because you were with me, the world is going to hate you. Okay. They're going to hate you because the world knows that you're with me, and the world hates me. So you're going to have these tribulations. He didn't say trials. He said tribulations, and he told them that they was gonna have these tribulations only solely because of that reason. That we are not of this world no more. That we are held at a higher standard in the world. That the world don't like this. The world doesn't appreciate the Lord and what the Lord has done for the world, so that the people hate him for that. So now we're gonna have that same envy. So when we're out there in the world and we're doing our best to be peaceful and we're preaching the word and we're saying the stuff that we're saying, we are shaking these spirits up, and these spirits of the world don't like that. The spirits of the world don't like that. They low key hate it that we talk the way we talk, we act the way we act. This is why we're gonna have tribulations. Okay, we're gonna have these tribulations. We're gonna have suffering. We're gonna have times where we're being attacked. Um, we're gonna have heartaches and stuff because the world doesn't want us to be peaceful. The world doesn't want us to speak that word to them because they're not living on the same plane as we're living on. We're living at a higher plane, a higher standard. So, with that being said, this is why he didn't say trials. So, we're gonna face trials no matter what. I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. I'm gonna get to that in 1 second. But I wanted to show you the difference between trials and tribulations. That's why I brought this one up first, because like I said, he didn't refer to the world giving us trials. He referred to the world giving us tribulations. And only because the world hated Jesus, and we follow him, the world's going to hate us as well. Okay? But it says, but be of good cheer. Look what it says. Look what it says. But be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So we gotta have this good cheer, because we have to know that although the world hated Jesus, he overcame the world. And the same way the world don't like us speaking the way we speak, guess what? We're gonna overcome the world. We're gonna overcome the world. It says it Romans, I think it's Romans 5:20. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Hold on, don't quote me just yet, because I like to bring it up for you to see. Uh, 16. Don't quote me just yet. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up first. Okay, yeah, Romans chapter 5, verse 20. Let's swing there real quick. Let's swing there real quick. Romans chapter 5, verse 20. Now, Romans chapter 5, verse 20 says, moreover, the law entered that the offense might abound, but where sin abounded, grace abounded much more. So, the same way Jesus said, what do you say? I want to say it right. I want to say it right. Uh, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. When we look at that, is going through the same things. Be of good cheer, because even though the world hates us, Jesus is still with us. The Lord is with us. God is with us, and wherever sin abounds, they abound much more. So there's nothing they can do to stop our good cheer. There's nothing they can do to hurt us, because the same way Jesus said, I overcome the world, we are going to overcome the world as well. Because the Lord would never leave or forsake us, and we are God's children. We are God's children. So let's let's swing to First Peter real quick. We're gonna go to First Peter chapter 1, verse 6. Okay. All right. First Peter 17:36. First Peter. Now, okay. So now when we look at Second Peter verse First Peter, my fault, not Second Peter. First Peter chapter 1, verse 6. it says, in this you greatly in this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perish, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory at the revelations of Jesus Christ. Okay? So, my screen didn't change. Oh, snap. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. My fault. Uh, hold on. Hold on. My screen didn't change. There we go. My bad. All right. All right. I had I had it up in my way. I couldn't see. There you go. Let me slide this over a little bit. Let me slide it over. I seen it on my screen and took up that little portion right there. So I didn't know it didn't pop up. Thanks for saying that. Okay. But but now but now 6. In this you greatly rejoice, through now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials. Okay, so now we're on a whole nother thing. We're on a whole nother thing now. So now the book is talking about trials, and if you look at it, it says it gives you a time limit. It gives you one. We got to notice that it gives you a time limit. It says for a little while, and then on top of that is giving us an option too. It says if need be, you have been grieved by various trials. Okay, so not only that is giving us a time limit, is giving us an option. So that means what I was saying before. Let's let's move this right here for a second, and let's take this down. And we'll take that one down. Nope, not that one. Oops. Slide down just a little bit. Come on, stop moving all quick. Right there. All right. Matter of fact, let's move you. Come on, right there. Let's move you right there so you out the way. All right. That one. This one. Okay. Trials. Now, you can have hardships, you can have adversities, or you can suffer. So, depending on what kind of trial it is depending on how you're gonna have to face these trials. You know, you like I said, hardships, adversities, or suffering. So, when when he's saying that if need be, he's referring to which one you're talking about here. On top of that, he's giving us a time limit. He says for a little while, and that in that little while that we may be grieved by the various trials. We may be upset, sad, not wanting to talk to nobody, but at the end of the day, going through these trials, it makes us a better person. So when we go, like I said, when we go through these trials, it refines a believer's character, strengthens their resilience on God, and demonstrates the power of Christ in their life. Okay? So when we look at that, what it says too in here is when we go to 7, when we go to 7, that the genuineness of your faith, okay? The genuineness. We know what being genuine means. Genuine means that you're A1, that you're 100%, that you're that is no tamper. You Is no tampering with that. You're cut. You're cut from a what they like they say. You're cut from that cloth. There's no. You're 99%. You know what I'm saying? You're actually you're more than 99. You're 100%. There's no cut in that. So that the genuineness of your faith being much more precious than gold that perishes. Okay? So your faith being so genuine that it can't be cut with nothing else. It can't be tampered with. It can't be broke down into it can't be broke down and made into anything else. That it's just solid. It's what it is. That perishes through that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory. So no matter what test it is, you're still gonna hold strong. So this is what trials do. This is what trials do. And it's the test the genuineness of that character. It's to test it's supposed to test that person's character. It's supposed to make that person one better than what he stepped in before. This is why it was referred to it like this: the genuineness of your faith. It didn't say the genuineness of how you act or nothing like that, or what's another example? Jeez, I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank. But I'm drawing a blank. But it's supposed to test your faith. That's what it says in the definition. Test of faith that produces spiritual growth and maturity. So so the Bible, what I just brought to y'all right there, what I just brought to y'all right there is two totally different definitions of what trials are and what tribulations are. One came from Jesus. He's coming and telling them that that they're going to face tribulations of the world because the world hated Jesus and Jesus. A lot of times I stay to myself if I'm happy or don't have peace, but have heard to be uh but have heard to be around folks. But who wants a dramatic person around good faith? Am I wrong? Uh, no, no, but it's okay. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with being to yourself, but you don't want to isolate yourself. So if you're not feeling it today, and you know you don't wanna be around certain people, that's all fine and dandy, because one, it may not be that you're dramatic. People will say that you're dramatic because or antisocial because you just don't want to be around no foolishness, or certain people that brings down your morale. But that's just them being working in their ego. uh if you have to take time for yourself, that's good. You should take time for yourself. That's a that's a way you keep, one, your mind at peace. Two, that's a way that you should be using that time to talk to God, get closer to God, because you just don't want to be by you don't want to isolate yourself from the world. Because when you isolate yourself from the world, now you have that idle mind where the devil can creep in and put negative thoughts on your mind, or bring up old times that you want to get rid of, and you don't want to think about, and he bring up those times when your mind is idle and stuff like that, when you so comfortable that you let your shield down. Now I can slip that punch in there. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with not being around people, especially if they bring down your morale. But you don't wanna isolate yourself from people. And if you do, take that time to be by yourself. Use that time to read your book. Use that time to talk to the Lord, build that relationship with the Lord, because one, with talking to him, it could help you out of that sense of not want to be around folks. It could, and also with that, with doing that, it helps you find other people that may be in your situation, and they don't have nobody to talk to. So you might be that person that they can lean on for that time. Like, okay, I'm facing this, and I know went through this. How did you get past it? And you had that time to work through it. You had that time to recover from whatever it is that's holding you in that place, that you can be that light for that person. Yeah, yeah, I mean, we all face that time. I was like that too. I was like that too. I would isolate myself too, because I felt as though people was looking at me a certain kind of way, and people was talking about me and stuff like that. But I had to realize, like, and we gonna get to that. We ready. Matter of fact, we ready to get to that. So my uncle was preaching today. Uh, La- Lamentations, Lamentations, 21. Lamentations. What, dang? What chapter was that? Ma, if you ain't here, what chapter that was we in Lamentations? Jeez, I didn't even get the chapter. I didn't even write the chapter down. I wrote the verses down, but didn't write the chapter. Oh, matter of fact, oh, no, I do. Never mind, I got it. All right, Lamentations chapter 3, verses 21 to 25. Okay, so that's what he was preaching at today. And one thing that stood out to me, and I'm glad you said that in this chat, because one thing that stood out to me was a lot of times we think um we think that we're going through something, and that the devil is doing it's the devil's work, or maybe it's his God trying to test us. But all the um sometimes it's neither one. Sometimes we're doing this to ourselves. Everything, and I wrote this. This is what I wrote down. Everything you go through is not because the Lord's doing, or the devil, but our own doing. So we can cause stuff to ourselves. And this is I know you was in the live over there, and Smitty was talking, and Smitty was referring to his self having that idle mind and stuff like that. Thank you, Ma. Having that idle mind and stuff, and his mind is racing and stuff. This is his doing. This is not the Lord making him race and think about those times. This is not the devil doing that. This is him doing that to himself. And at times we get that confused with what it is that we're giving the devil the power to attack us. You see what I'm saying? So when you say I say to myself, if I'm unhappy or don't have peace, uh and then you said who wants a dramatic person around them? That's your doing. You're putting yourself in that dramatic state. Okay, if that makes sense. You're putting yourself in this dramatic state. So now when you're putting yourself in that dramatic state, and you begin to isolate yourself, now the devil has time to work on you. Now the devil has time to slide those sucker punches in there. Yeah, you're not as good as you think you are. And look, look, if people wanted to be around you, they would be around you. But like he say little slick stuff to you in those idle times, in those isolated times by yourself, when you're beating yourself down, you're dropping your shield. That's why I put that in there. Tell him the armor of God, because now once you put on that armor of God and you live with that armor of God on, the devil can't attack you. And this is why I was saying, pick up your Bible at those times when you feel like that. Pick up your Bible, start reading, you know, chapters, whatever chapter makes you comfortable. Whatever scripture makes you comfortable. Start praying, getting building your solid relationship with him. Let him know that, like, look, my faith for you and my belief for you, my love for you is genuine. It can't be tampered with. So now that you are in those states, you have something that to keep your mind from just being idle. And then one, it'll keep your mind from being idle, and then two, you're not beating yourself down. You're not beating yourself down. You're not, like you said, you're not being your own distraction, because that's when the devil's gonna start working his best. Remember, I said this before. The devil is always lurking and prowling for the ones who he may consume. He's only gonna go after the weak and feeble. He's not going If you're strong and of good courage, he's not going to mess with you, because he knows the power that comes behind that. He knows who you roll with. He knows who your big homie is. For the young people, he knows who your big homie is. So there's no way he's going to mess with you. So this is something I needed to speak on, because we will be our own downfall. Salute, Smitty. I'm glad you in here. It's crazy. I just spoke you up. Um, we will be our own downfall by what we think, by what we put in our head. And when those thoughts get to racing like that, that's when we start to beat ourselves up, and we start to remove that armor, and we start to step out of that hedge of protection. And then that's when the devil has time to work on you. That's when the devil, and mind you, like I said, he doesn't he doesn't jab. He doesn't come with his powerful hits. He doesn't throw haymakers. He comes in, he jabs, he picks, he picks apart, gives you a little jab here, jab there, and each time he's jabbing, he's setting up his hit. He's setting up his powerful hit, so that once you broken down and you feel as though I can't go on no more, I can't fight no more, that's when he comes and delivers those hard body shots, those hard head rockers, to have you dazed and off your rocker. There's a there's a scripture. Let's see if I can find this scripture real quick. Um, let's see if I can find this scripture real quick. Bear with me. I'm glad you came in here. Let's see. No, that's not it. Oh, I gotta find it. I gotta find it. Uh, because it goes good with what I was just saying. Let me hold on. Let me see if I get my uncle. Let me see if I get my uncle real quick. I hope he answered the phone. I hope it's not too late. Let's see. I hope it's not too late. I hope he answered the phone, because this is it's a good scripture, and y'all need to hear it. Let's see. Please answer the phone. Oh, what's going on? I'm on. Okay, okay, that's what's up. Be safe. I'm 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 online right now, right? And I said something. I said something about I referred to the devil throwing jabs and not haymakers, and it made me think of something that you preached. And remember you said you was preaching, and it was basically saying, like, when you'll get tired of fighting, and then your hands will go down, and then the Lord will come and he'll lift your hands back up, and he'll move your feet. I can't remember exactly how you said it. Jeez. Nah, for real. Yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, I can't. I was trying to think of that verse, man. I was trying to think of that verse. In that verse, you was talking about your arms will get tired, and he comes and he'll come and he'll pick your hands back up, and jeez, I cannot remember how you put it. I think I think it was one of those ones when I think it was when Justice had got baptized. Yeah. Yeah, that was a little minute ago. Oh man. Oh man, I cannot remember. I cannot remember what where it was. Oh, and I know I'm gonna end up finding it later. But I like I said, I was speaking on this, and I was saying like how you'll be fighting, and you'll get tired and you'll put your arms down, and then that's when the devil will come and he'll start throwing them heavy hits. But before then, he's jabbing away at you, jabbing away at you. Y- Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But yeah. Yeah, no, no, for real. That's why, and I'm the same way, man. That's why I was like, hold on, let me see if my uncle remember this, because I might can get him, to give me that verse so I can give it to y'all. But it's okay, it's all right. Don't. I appreciate. Look, I was over here like, please answer the phone. I'm like, it's late. I know. I'm like, I hope he answer the phone. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love you back. All right. Same here. Same here. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I can't remember all of 'em. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Love you, Unc. All right. All right. My bad, my bad. All right, so yeah, we was just laughing because he like, man, that was a while ago. I ain't even go cat. I can't remember which one you talking about right now. That's all right. But yeah, he preach every week, so yeah, like you said, man, he preach every week, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to remember everything. It's kind of hard to remember everything that you done said. That's my uncle, man. That's my uncle, my mentor, man. That's my guy, man. He keep me going. I gotta say that. Gotta say that. But I'm gonna find it. When I find it, I'll present it on the next one, and I'll tell y'all what it is. But but like I said though, he gonna keep jabbing away at you. He gonna keep jabbing away at you. He not gonna hit you with his strongest hits. He gonna keep jabbing away. But 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 this is something that we have to be mindful of. You know, just because Just because we might fall on a hard time or something like that, just because hard times will come, it doesn't. I don't have one, Smitty. No, I'm on Streamlabs right now, and you know how Streamlabs is. Streamlabs it cuts me off. It cuts me off. Um, But yeah, just because we fall on hard times, hard times doesn't mean we're automatically in tribulations. Okay, it doesn't mean that hard times. It just could be one of those type of trials. Not every trial is meant. not every trial is meant to be easy. And every, just like I said earlier, every test that you take is not going to be easy, no matter how much you study for it. Some tests might you'll study, some tests might be easy, but you can study the whole month for this test and be prepared for it, and it'll still be hard, you know. So trials are the same way. Trials might not be easy. Some might not. But at the end of the day, the objective is to pass your trial. And to pass your trial, you have to do these things right here. Let's go back, cuz I don't think Smitty was here. Let's just go back real quick. To pass your trial and not face tribulations, you have to go to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. These characteristics right here: trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not onto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. We all know what depart means. Depart from evil. We know what that means. Separate yourself from evil. Separate yourself from anything that has to do with sin, living in the flesh, stuff like that. Fear the Lord. Fear the Lord doesn't mean be scared. Fear the Lord doesn't mean be scared of him, but fear is a way of saying acknowledge. It's the same way as up here. Acknowledge. You're acknowledging the Lord for who he is and what he does. Um and once you do these three verses, once you do these characteristics right here, then you will reap the reward. The reward is it should be healthy to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. That's the reward for doing those things. The lies are crazy within Satan. Yes. Yes, Satan's Satan is always gonna be find a way to deceive you. He's always gonna find a way to cause chaos, and like you said earlier, seeing being, he's always gonna distract you some type of way. Um Screenshots. Do I have? I wonder if I have it. That's parables. I wonder if I have those characteristics. I know I read them before. I know I read them before, but if I didn't if I didn't, it's cool. I I'll just read them again for you. Okay. All right. So I don't have it in my pictures right there. Ah man. Let's see. Let's see where. Ah, crap. Dang, I wish I had jeez, I wish I had it saved somewhere. See, I be doing these so much. I be doing these so much that sometimes I lose I lose certain things, and then when I want to go back to it, I can never find it. And it was in the live that I did about the devil don't sleep, and I read the characteristics of what he does, but I cannot think of where it's at. Man, it's alright. But dang, I wish I had because it goes perfect with what I was saying. But anyway, the devil's job is to cause distractions, cause chaos, um, derail you from what it is that your goal is, and your goal is to get eternal life through the Lord. And he will use any tactic for you to go back, and he will use any tactic to to derail you. But all in all, I hope everybody understood what I was giving them tonight. I hope everybody understood what I was giving them tonight with the trials and the tribulations, because we gotta stop we gotta stop grouping those two things together, because there is not it. I'm not gonna say they don't run hand in hand, but you can't go through tribulations without uh first going through your trials first, and then the consequences of not passing your trials is tribulations. It does Tribulations is a hardship, and it is suffering, but your 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 uh your trials is what you're most likely gonna going to face before you get to tribulations. What's that say? The devil tempts lust of eyes, pride of ego. Yes. Yes, he's gonna work on all of those. He's gonna work on all of those. Um that is a good point. That is a good point, Ma. I wish I I wish I Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Maybe I didn't take a picture. Maybe I wrote it down. Give me 1 second. All right. Had to go get my spiral notebook. I got I gotta get I gotta get two more of those things. I gotta get two more spiral notebooks. Look, I done filled these pages up. These pages is filled. Oh, you can't see it because the light. Yeah, I got these pages filled out. I kind of went through this book, writing down different things and stuff. Uh, I think I wrote it down. Oh, yep, yep, yep. Haha. See, it hit me. It hit me. Okay, so the devil's mission. The devil's mission, right? The devil The devil tempts people through lust of the flesh, which appeals to physical appetites, lust of the eyes, which plays on desires for possessions and worldly pleasures, and pride of life, which appeals to ego, self-importance, and a sense of superiority. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the devil, and the devil will use these tactics. He will use these tactics. He will use the lust of the eyes. He will use he will play on your desires of possession and worldly pleasures, and he will play on your pride slash ego, and well, your pride, which appeals to your ego. That's what it is. So he'll play on your pride and appeals to your ego, so that you feel a sense of self important, or a sense of superiority. Yeah, I'm telling you, get you a spiral notebook, taking notes. Look, look. Even though if you can see it, hold on, let me dim this light, because my handwriting is not good. uh, Look at that. My handwriting is not good. It is actually referred to as chicken scratch. But with this chicken scratch, I write a lot I write a lot of stuff down, because it comes in handy. It comes in handy, like I said. I thought I took a picture, but I didn't. I actually wrote it down. So yeah, get you a spiral notebook. Start writing stuff down. Uh, Start putting stuff in your notes, so one one when you start feeling a certain kind of way, and you start feeling as if you're having these attacks and stuff like that, you always can refer back to your notes, and read certain things. Write down certain chapters, because I know it's hard to remember every chapter that somebody gives you. I have a hard time with that as well. But write it down, and then you can always refer to it. I know, seeing man. I know. Trust me. Trust me. No pages look crazy. No, I got scribble marks on them. Those pages look crazy. But see, it's for me. If somebody else look at it, they gonna be like, "What the heck am I looking at?" But see, that that's not for people to consume. That's only for me to consume. That's why it only makes sense to me. to somebody else that pick it up, it's not gonna make sense to them. They're gonna be like, "What the heck? The boy misspelled words. He breaking down the sentences." Yeah, because I know what I'm trying to say. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. Look, I can read it to you, and then you can get your own breakdown on it. But it's only for me to understand. Shouts out to my mama. Get y'all one of these too. One of these student Bible dictionaries. You know, this is a good way to understand a lot of the words that say. I'm glad my mama gave me this. Shouts out to my mama. Nah, for real. Nah, for real. You do. You you definitely need those notes. You definitely need to write this stuff down. Even if you go back through the playback and you write down certain things that you might have heard me say, or certain things that stood out to you, and you write those stuff down, because then when you, like I said, when those times where you feel as though I don't want to be around nobody, or I'm having some type of an attack, and I feel like I need to go be by myself, you can refer to these notes. You can look at them notes. You can look at those certain scriptures that you wrote down, and you can go meditate on those scriptures. Joshua, we're gonna go here real quick before I start closing this down. Joshua 1, I think it's verse 8. Yes. Joshua 1 verse 8. It reads, hold on. Y'all know I gotta get my book. Bear with me. I gotta get my book. Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. It says, this this book this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Okay? So it's telling you, right here, that when you meditate in this book, when you don't depart from the written that's in this book, when you keep the word that we're speaking in this book, that the that for then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. So the reason why a lot of people are not having this is because they forgot this. They forgot how to use this book. They forgot how to meditate on this word. They departed from using this book and meditating on it day and night. When we read this, and shout out to my brother B, because at first I was using the Bible on my phone. But see, the thing about the phone is the phone is spiritless. You see what I'm saying? The phone is spiritless. It doesn't have a spirit. But when I touch these pages and I read the book for what it is, and I read the words out this book, I can feel the spirit. I can feel the spirit moving. So that means this book holds spirits. And when we read this, we can feel that. This is why I might bring it up here for y'all to look at, just for like eye candy and stuff like that. But if you really want if you really want to feel what I'm feeling, you have to get your book. This is why you might I'll look at this and then be like, you know what? Hold on, where my book at? Because I gotta feel this. It hits different. This is what I'm saying. It hits different when I read it out this book. Shouts out to my mama too for getting me this book. It's my book. My mama got me this book. I'm like I'm like I like Rez. I'm like Rez. My mama got me this book. but nah, we we gotta meditate. We gotta meditate in this word, and we gotta use this word according to what it is. According to what it is. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. I wanted to share the trials and tribulations, and and yeah, let's leave off. Let's leave off on the word for today. That's how I'm gonna do that. That's how I'm gonna do that. We're gonna leave off on the word for today. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The Bible is important. The Bible is definitely important. It wouldn't tell you you will be prosperous and have good success if it wasn't. Chapter 3, verse 21. We gonna leave off on the word today. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 21. I gotta open my book. It says, "This I recall to my mind, therefore I have hope. Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not. Because of his compassions fail not. They are they are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him." To the soul who seeks him. So when we have patience, nice. When we have that patience, and we trust in him, we're building up our hope. We're building up our hope we have for him. When we have that hope, and we trust him, his compassion for us won't fail. His love for us won't fail. And the talking points of today is one, remind yourself. Remind yourself who the Lord is and what the Lord has done for you, where the Lord has brought you from. The second talking point is recognize the love of God. We have to recognize how much love God had for us. God gave his only son and laid his only son down so that we can have this life that we have. He loves us that much that he will sacrifice his own for us. And then the third talking point is God is all we need. So we don't need a secondhand source. We don't need a we don't need a person that's gonna be there today and then gone tomorrow, and then you don't hear from years later or weeks later, and your problems never changed. Your problems still the same. We don't need people like that. All we need is God, because God is with us 24/7. God never leaves nor forsakes us. So once we put our faith and our belief behind Him, watch how stuff starts working for us. Watch how stuff starts moving for us. And then the biscuit of the day is good things come to those who wait. Yes, it may not come, he may not come when you call. Part of your belief system, your hope, your trial and stuff. He may not come when you call. But give that faith, give that 100% faith, that genuineness that he was referring to. Have that genuineness and be genuine within your faith. Don't give him half your faith. Give him 100% of it. Give him 100% of your belief, and watch how he starts working for you. Once you do that and you show that you have the patience of Job, then watch how them folds start folding. Um, yeah, that's 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 it, bro. That's it. That's that. Ain't nothing else. Ain't nothing else. I can say on that. Ain't nothing else I can say on that. Like I said, I hope everybody got something out of it. I hope y'all go back and take your notes and get your talking points and stuff. Take down them talking points. I think thank you, seeing Ben, for rocking out with me. My mama, I know you in here somewhere. Smitty, shouts out to Smitty for sliding through. But yeah, that's it. Already. Already. No, thank you. Thank you for stopping in and just giving me your time. It could have been anywhere in the world, but you was here with me. And I appreciate that. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Love y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night.